All right, calling this meeting to order at 6:03. Roll call, Ms. Feliciano.
Mayor Garcia,
Here.
Dr. Ricolone,
Present.
Mr. Sheehan,
Present.
Ms. LaFave, Ms.
Present.
LeBron, Ms. LeBron Martinez, Mr. Izaza, Ms. Tensley Williams,
Here.
Mr. Michelson,
Here.
and Ms. Lugo,
Here.
and Ms. Molina.
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America,
Flag of the United States of America,
one nation,
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On March 29, 2025, Governor Maura Healey signed into laws the form of the bill entitled An Act Relative to Extending Certain COVID-19 Measures Adopted During the State of Emergency ACT of interest to all governmental public bodies.
Hey guys, the meeting's just now starting. Come on in, have a seat.
The meeting is already in progress,
Meeting's
please.
in progress.
You have to remain silent. Thank you.
Did you have the sign-in sheet already, Madam Chair?
I have it.
Okay, good. Make sure everybody signed up.
Yep. The act extends until June 2027 the authority for meetings of multiple member bodies to be held in an entirely remote or hybrid format. All public bodies may hold fully remote or hybrid meetings without the physical presence of a quorum of the public body, as long as adequate alternative means of public access is also provided. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 20, I'm hereby informing all attendees that a video and audio recording is being made of the meeting, and the meeting is being live streamed and run live on the city's community TV channel. Next, student showcase. We don't have one today. Is that correct, Ms. Feliciano?
Right, correct.
All right. Going forward to public comment. And before I open public comment, I would like to remind speakers that the school committee will not hear comments regarding specific personnel matters or individual employees. Personnel issues are handled through appropriate administrative and legal processes and are not appropriate subjects for public comment. Any speaker who attempts to discuss personnel matters may be ruled out of order and asked to conclude their remarks. Each person has 2 minutes to make their remarks, and the first person on the list is Nick Cream. State your name and address.
Nick Cream, 7 Warner Street, South Hadley. I'm an ethnic studies teacher at Dean Tech and president of the Holyoke Teachers Association. I'm going to read a statement from our union regarding some recent decisions made by the district. Dear school committee, HPS leadership team, the Holyoke Teachers Association leadership are aware of an incident at Holyoke High School in which an active member organizer had their contract non-renewed and then was told by Holyoke High administration to cease self-organization on his own behalf. We want to be clear that this is an explicit violation of protected union activity under Massachusetts General Law 150E. This member, Bob Williams, is a very active union member who attended 17 bargaining sessions as a silent rep and has served his school as a building rep and building action team member. Like so many other teachers in Holyoke, Bob was in his first 3 years teaching in the district. Teachers without professional teacher status, or PTS, represent an incredibly strong and active part of our union and city, and they have lifted their voices to make our schools better for the young people of Holyoke. Bob's non-renewal risks producing a chilling effect, making union members more fearful to face similar retaliation for participating in protected union activities. The HTA will challenge all cases of retaliation against any and all members exercising their protected rights as workers. HTA leadership will file unfair labor practice charges against Holyoke Public Schools and its agents for their actions. We encourage any members who believe they have been targeted for organizing at work to get in touch with their union to challenge such actions. HPS must cease and desist in all acts of union interference and retaliation against employees exercising their rights under Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 150E, and in this case reinstate Bob Williams immediately. Thank you.
Please, everybody, please refrain from using names of actual employees, as we have to protect their identities and in their personnel matters. Moving next, Saskia Fabricant.
Good evening, Saskia Fabricant, 8 Lord Street in East Hampton. I'm standing before you having just completed my 7th year in the Holyoke Public Schools. In that time, I have served as an ELD teacher, expert teacher, and department chair at Holyoke High School North. I come to you today with a concern. A week before school ended, I learned that a colleague of mine and fellow Holyoke Teachers Association member was non-renewed. This member received proficient ratings on his evaluations and has never had a disciplinary meeting. I would know. I'm a union building representative and would have been invited had such a meeting been occurred. So this begs the question, why was this person not renewed? For the past 2.5 years, this person's been one of the most active union members, beginning by helping reinvigorate the union by helping run a slate of candidates who were elected 2 years ago. They have fought for increased resources from the Massachusetts Teachers Association, coordinated and attended trainings for members, served as a building representative supporting and defending coworkers, helped form the building action team structure for the union, served as a political action leader for HTA, was elected to the MTA Board of Directors representing Holyoke and Chicopee, and has been a visible participant in bargaining sessions, standouts, and other union events. In other words, if the Holyoke Teachers Association is doing something, this member is involved. It is not hard to draw a straight line from their non-renewal to their union activity. Therefore, I am calling on the Holyoke Public Schools to cease and desist all acts of union interference and retaliation against employees exercising their rights under Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 150E, and reinstate this member and of the community at Holyoke High School North immediately. Thank you for your time.
Next up, Kyle Chambers.
Hi there, Kyle Chambers, 85 Lincoln Street. I'm here to speak in defense of Holyoke High School history teacher, he who shall not be named, who was tendered a letter of non-renewal by the HPS administration last week. In my time as an HPS parent, I've advocated proudly for the needs of our students in a number of ways. I served on the board of the PTO at Ian White. I've worked with our community to push for the Yes on 2 campaign that eliminated the MCAS graduation requirement for our schools, and I've worked alongside other parents and educators to push for the collective bargaining agreement that our community needed coming out of state receivership. At every step of the way, he who shall not be named was a guiding voice. Given that he's worked for 3 years with a spotless disciplinary record and proficient teaching evaluations, I cannot help but think that this is retaliation for protected concerted union activity. What this says to our hardworking educators and our students is a horrible message that if you stand up for what you believe in, if you advocate for your students and demand more from your district, you'll be shown the door. As a parent, that is not messaging that I'm comfortable with our schools teaching. I want my son to see that it's not only okay to stand up for what's right, but it's a responsibility to stand up for what's right. And if that doesn't interest our budget-minded folks in here tonight, this will. Just like in bargaining, you'll be wasting more of our taxpayer dollars on legal fees and attorneys at the DLR trying to figure out how this isn't a clear violation of Mass General Law, Chapter 150E. And just like with bargaining, all this trouble can be avoided by just investing that time and money into doing better for our students and educators and following the law. Don't make the same mistake twice. Reinstate he who shall not be said. Follow the law and stop retaliating against protected concerted activity. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Maddie Alton on Zoom.
Hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes. Please state your name and address,
Okay.
please.
Sorry, my name is Maddie Alton. I'm a teacher at Holyoke North School. It will not be stating my address due to safety concerns. This teacher and I joined Holyoke Public Schools together 3 years ago. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. And since he has become one of the most, if not the most, visible union members in our building, he has constantly been there to help advocate for anyone who needs and make sure that you are being supported. Not only is he a wonderful advocate, but he is also a licensed teacher who has gotten exemplary in evaluations and is willing to work with students and hold them to high standards, raising the bar for educational expectations. As a teacher who has yet to receive an exemplary on my evaluation and is currently working towards my license in math as I switch subjects, but I'm part of the executive board in the union, I was terrified waiting to see if I was going to be non-renewed. How others comforted me when waiting is that I am not as outspoken or visible in organizing as this teacher. All of these facts combined makes this teacher's non-renewal feel nothing short of retaliation against the union organizing, and the only remedy is reinstating him into the building. He has become foundational, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next up, Jacob Bilski.
Hi, Jacob. Hi, Jacob Bilski, 142 Nassau Drive, Springfield. I'm an educator at Peck Middle School. I would first like to echo what has been said about the retaliatory non-renewal at the high school, but also raise broader concerns about non-renewals here in Holyoke. Throughout the bargaining process, Holyoke Public Schools tried to make, or continuously claimed that they were trying to do what's best for students, to retain licensed educators and help our educators get licensure. And at least one non-renewal that recently happened in addition to that one at Peck, while not rising to the level of retaliatory action. The non-renewal I have in mind was essentially an example of the administration and the district and human resources allowing one of our members to slip through the cracks, a highly qualified, passionate educator who has made a huge impact on students in our building, essentially being non-renewed due to a licensure issue, despite his position being mostly vocational in nature. And so I would just make an appeal to the school committee on the one hand to end retaliatory actions against our members for union organizing, but also to be taking a to actually live up to the lofty goals that were set up in the preamble to our contract negotiations and our current iteration of our contract, and actually do the work to support our students, ensuring that passionate educators who are well liked by the students, making good impacts in our hallways, are being retained here and not allowed to slip through the cracks and be non-renewed. So, yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Anthony Zerpoli.
Hi, Anthony Zerpoli, 122 Chestnut, Springfield. I am a history teacher up at Holyoke North. I am here today also to speak on behalf of a particular colleague of mine who was non-renewed this year for echoing what has been said here multiple times, it's clearly a retaliatory measure against his union activity. This particular colleague, so that you've heard a lot about the retaliation, so I'm going to speak to this colleague's character. This individual has been in Holyoke North as a full-time teacher 1 year longer than I have, but through his experience with, I believe it's the Westfield Promise, he's been there for quite a while. His colleagues that work directly with him love having him in the department. He's always ready to support his fellow teachers. He's always ready to provide resources. He's always ready to help workshop ideas and come up with better ideas and methods for reaching our students. Our students love him. He is, every student I've talked to that has gone through his classroom has enjoyed the experience of that classroom, not just of what they've learned. I think it is needless to say that this teacher holds them to high standards and helps them achieve those standards. But additionally, every student that goes through his classroom feels comfortable. They enjoy being around him. He makes them enjoy coming to school. something for anyone who has actually spent time teaching in our district knows is not a universal characteristic. Additionally, not only does this send, thank you very much.
Go. Next, Stephen Burke.
Hi, Stephen Burke, Holyoke High teacher, 244 Greystone Ave, West Springfield. I'm reading this on behalf of Carolyn Montevero, who is also a teacher at Holyoke High. I'm submitting this statement in support of our colleague regarding the decision not to renew his employment with the Holyoke Public Schools. I believe this decision should be considered. He has completed 3 years of service at Holyoke High School and has not received negative performance evaluations that would suggest he is unfit to continue serving the students or this district. He is a qualified history teacher, a dedicated educator, and a committed advocate for the students and staff of Holyoke High. Throughout his time in his district, Mr. Williams, he has demonstrated a willingness to speak up and ask different questions, advocate for both educational equality and quality working conditions. He's been actively involved in the Holyoke Teachers Association and has worked diligently to support his colleagues. Everyone may not agree with every position he's taken, but participation in union activities and expression of professional concern should never place an educator's career at risk. The timing of the circumstance of his non-renewal raised serious concerns when an educator with satisfactory performance and a strong commitment to students and an active role in union organizing is dismissed without clear, documented justification. It creates the appearance of retaliation. Whether indeed intended or not, that's the perception is damaging to trust in our schools and throughout the community. Holyoke's struggles with public perception of advancement and opportunities are determined by personal relationships rather than merit. The decision reinforces that perception. Our students, educators, and community deserve a system that values professionalism, transparency, and fairness above politics or personal connections. He embodies many of the qualities we should want in educators. He is thoughtful, engaging, and willing to challenge assumptions. He does not simply follow directions without question.
Thank you. Next, we have Micah Simone.
Hi, Micah Simone or Shafran, 11 Allen Place, Northampton. I'm here today to urge you to reinstate the teacher we've all been talking about to his position as a history teacher at Holyoke High. Everyone who has spoken before me has laid out the case. An exemplary teacher who is involved in union activities which are protected under Mass General Law 150E nearly every day of his career. His non-renewal is unlawful and retaliatory. It's also cowardly. The message I want to leave with you is one about leadership. As a leader in HTA, I can tell you that Bob is someone who is never afraid to advocate, that the person we're talking about is someone who is never afraid to advocate for fellow students and for fellow staff and students. Whether you disagree with him or agree with him, you need to recognize that people like this teacher enrich our community and push us forward as leaders. They make us better. But by non-renewing him, you are silencing him. In turn, you are silencing all of us. Now every union member, every teacher in the district is wondering, am I next? Will I be non-renewed if I lift up my voice? We all want what's best for students. That's what we're here to do. We need teachers to feel like they can speak up when something is not right. We can't do that if this non-renewal stands. Superintendent Glasheen has said that we need to heal following a difficult contract negotiation. Is this healing? Is this unity? Is this Juntos Podemos?
Next, we have Katie Bova.
Hi, I'm Katie Bullock, 285 Brainerd Street, South Hadley, and I'm here to speak on behalf of Peck Middle School, or many educators of Peck Middle School, including a few who are in this room tonight. As many of you know, I do teach 7th grade science at Peck, and I am asking the school committee and the district leadership to reconsider the non-renewal of a consumer science teacher at our school. This non-renewal was not a result of misconduct poor performance, or disciplinary concerns. In fact, he has been a valuable member of our school community. He stepped into a brand new program without an established curriculum, with limited resources, and helped build something meaningful for our students from the ground up. This educator brought years of real-world culinary experience into the classroom. He taught students practical life skills such as food preparation, kitchen safety, sanitation, teamwork, time management, and responsibility. He connected students to career pathways and made learning relevant and engaging. He had me eating chicken Alfredo made by students at 9:30 a.m., which is, I can say something was I never envisioned for myself. But as my students' confidence grew, so did mine. As an experienced educator with advanced degrees and licensure, I can certainly say that his expertise and effectiveness are not solely measured by credentials. He possesses knowledge and skills that many traditional teachers simply do not have, including myself, even with all my degrees and certifications. Finding a pathway to keep this teacher with a teacher's salary is in the best interest of Peck Middle School students and its staff. When I spoke with him about this situation, he told me he loves this job. This job has hit me in the heart, and I usually follow my heart because it has never failed me. Our students deserve educators who feel this way about teaching. Our district should do everything possible to retain people who bring that level of dedication, expertise, and care to their work. Offering to hire this teacher back as a long-term sub or para to do the same work that he did last year as a teacher is not only insulting, but unsustainable in an economic time such as this. I have shared to your emails a petition signed by the teachers from Peck. Thank you.
Thank you. Last, we have Allison Noyes.
Hello, my name is Allison Noyes, and I'm a teacher at Holyoke High School North. This year I was a co-teacher with the teacher that we've been discussing in the history department in E-Block World History class, supporting multilingual students in the class. And I am shocked that a teacher could be dismissed after receiving no supervisory critique or warning about a need to change their practice. Teachers at Holyoke High are frequently observed by the principal, vice principal, teaching and learning team, teachers, and visitors. Teachers and supervisors meet about how the teachers are doing. Teachers need to trust that these evaluations are truthful. This teacher has an extraordinary respect for his students' capabilities and potential for growth. He arranged to spend time with me thinking about how to prepare students to do advanced work, starting from where they are and where they enter his class. He was receptive to collaborating and trying new things with me as we considered multilingual students doing very serious history work. If this teacher's non-renewal was prompted by a performance-based concern, then his feedback and evaluations should have conveyed those concerns. The school committee must restore this teacher to his position if known warnings were given. All teachers are entitled to due process. If this was not a performance-based dismissal, but a reprisal of some kind for outside the classroom activity, the committee needs to take equally swift action to restore this teacher to his position. Teachers need to be able to trust the evaluation process, to trust Holyoke. Thank you.
That concludes our public comment. Just as a reminder, for new members of the board and the public comment is not a conversation, and we must stick to the items that are on the agenda. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. Next, we have communication and reports. It's vacation time. Are there any student reports, Ms. Feliciano? I wouldn't think so. And we also don't have a superintendent's report. So moving on to new business, out-of-state travel. Recommendation that the school committee vote to approve and authorize out-of-state travel for M. Career, Chief of People Services, to attend the Massachusetts Urban Special Education Director Conference in Falmouth, Massachusetts. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Michelson, seconded by Mr. Isasa.
Seconded.
Discussion? Seeing none. Roll call vote, please, Ms. Feliciano.
Mayor Garcia,
Yes.
Dr. Rivera Colon.
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan,
Yes.
Ms. LaFave. Ms. LaFave,
You're speaking.
Who is it, me?
yes, say yes.
I can't hear you.
You said yes, right? Okay, perfect. Ms. Tennessee Williams.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Izaza,
Yes.
Mr. Michelson,
Yes.
Ms. LeBeau,
Yes.
and Ms. Molina.
Yes.
Next up, may I have a motion that the school committee vote to approve and authorize out-of-state travel for students for Holyoke High School basketball team to attend the Mini Hoop Hall Invitational Tournament in San Juan, Puerto Rico, December 3rd through December 7th, 2026.
So moved.
Motion made by Mr.
So moved.
Michelson, seconded by Ms. Tensley Williams. Discussion?
Okay.
Mr. Michelson.
Yeah, so I was reading about this program or this event. I thought it was super, super awesome. And then I was looking at the list of attendees, and I saw Central High School was going to be there. And I know that there was an issue last year, and I know there was an issue in 2020, same thing. And that brought some concern to me because they're going to be going to Puerto Rico as like kind of in a diplomat status for the city of Holyoke, right? And to go there, that brings some concern for me.
Mr. Soto.
Yeah, so this is a invite only tournament, and just like when the Hoopah Classic in Springfield came up at first and before it was built up, it was a smaller amount of teams. There will be two. Their vision is that there's gonna be two teams from Puerto Rico, and then one from Holyoke and one from Springfield, being Holyoke High and Central, given their high concentration of Puerto Rican population. And then there'll be 4 teams internationally. I understand your point, and we've had conversations with, our athletic director, who I believe is online. So, Irene, if you can, her, Lori, and maybe Juan Maldonado might be online to speak to this and answer questions. But we actually think it's an opportunity. Yes, there was an issue, and there has been a history there. But we think this is a good opportunity to finally put that to bed and build some relationships between both of the schools. They're going to be traveling in the same area, in the same hotel, and playing in this friendly competition. And we just think it's the concern you raise is a legitimate concern, but we think that this is actually going to help that.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yeah, so I know that it says that they want to start making reservations soon, but so considering tryouts don't happen till the fall, how is that process occur? Like, I mean, you don't even know who's going to be on the basketball team in June.
Yeah, so we had a conversation about this. You don't see her online? Mel Martin?
Martin. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So this isn't gonna be everybody that makes the varsity team. So if we get a brand new student that comes in, let's say a senior transfer or junior transfer, and we don't find out about it until September, then that student unfortunately wouldn't go. But what the high school athletic director is thinking is that it's going to be returning players who were on varsity, and then those JV players that we know might be on varsity next year, that already have the talent and have displayed the talent to be able to play in this competition. So let's say a freshman comes in and makes the varsity team, that student wouldn't be attending because of all the planning and stuff that has to happen ahead of time. What they're looking for at this point is permission to begin the fundraising process and hopefully make this possible for our students. And Mel is here. Mel, I don't know if you want to add to anything that I just said, but Mel Martin.
Yeah, I mean, you've basically stated what we've talked about. It would be returning 10 varsity players, possibly some of the kids that were swing players last year. We have just recently met with Springfield's principal, athletic director, and coaches, and our coaches as well, to continue our talks about how we move forward from the incident and it doesn't happen again. We're still waiting for some communication from the MIAA. We're not sure that this can work, granted that it's within the first week of tryouts, but also the first playable date is scheduled for December 10th. So we're looking to see if the MIA rules, we could work our way in with a scrimmage or anything like that. But I know they're approaching the Hall of Fame, reaching out to Greg Porcino to get more answers than I had when I met with the MIA. to make sure that it's something that we can do and without violating their rules.
Ms. LeBeau?
I don't have a question anymore because Mel just answered it.
Thank you. Mr. Sheehan?
So can you share with us, either the superintendent or you can delegate to Ms. Martin, the conversations you've had with MIAA regarding that? Because I'm concerned by saying go ahead and start fundraising if we don't even know if this can happen yet. And can someone also say, has Springfield already gone through the process and fully approved this? And have they started fundraising? Like, has their school committee done the same thing we've done so far?
I know we met with their principal just last week of school, and they were going to their school committee also for approval. I don't know if they've spoken with the MIAA. I have spoken with the two people from the MIAA and voiced concerns, just where it would fit. Would it be fit into a scrimmage? It may not, because the Hall of Fame is going to be charging admission to this event, and that violates the scrimmage rule. But he wanted to, one of the guys down there, Keith Boyard, wanted to get more information from the Hoop Hall and what they were thinking. Had this been another week out, it wouldn't maybe be an issue. It could be a real game. But I don't know that the MIA is going to approve it, and I would caution any fundraising prior to getting that approval. But knowing this was your last meeting, we wanted to see if there was approval from this committee for them to travel, and obviously everything else will be on hold until the MIAA gives us their approval or denies the approval.
Mr. Sheehan? Mayor Garcia?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and everybody. So, and Mel, thank you so much. This, I'm glad to know that you guys have been working with MIAA, working together with Springfield. I do want to say thank you to some of the legislatures that were intentional in these conversations to include these two communities for the reasons that were described, and also to help build strengthen the relationships between the two communities. And it's something that absolutely is a great opportunity to unite around this for Western Massachusetts and for Holyoke and Springfield. And when we do vote, considering that we're going into the summer, there's a lot of planning, necessary conversations that need to happen before you officially go out there and start fundraising. I'm hoping that we can certainly stand behind this and support this effort to help, obviously not only for the opportunity, but to achieve the greater bond between these two communities in a sport that's so widely recognized. But those conversations with MIAA have been ongoing, continue to be, including with the leadership in Springfield. Obviously Mel and the administration, you guys know where the concerns stand, but also that we're, as adults, being intentional as possible to help build some unity and some to help bring these folks together and represent our communities in a positive manner. So I don't know how the vote's going to take place, but I'm hoping that the result of the conversation can lead to a decision being made today, in lieu of obviously making sure that the necessary I don't know how you'd want to describe it, the necessary decisions are made in lieu of our vote. So sure.
Thank you. Mr. Sheehan?
Yeah, Mel, have you been given a time frame? So please, can you explain to me what conversations you've had with the MIA? Have you emailed and made this request? What steps have been taken to actually put in this request to be able to do this so far?
Yes, Mr. Sheehan. Basically, I sent them exactly what the Hall of Fame sent to us, with the event dates, the locations, the format, the projected format that we could use for games or exhibition or scrimmage. And again, that is all depending on the MIA. So we sent everything over to them, and they're just looking into what the Hoop Hall, they wanted more detail from the Hoop Hall than I had. So they are going to reach out to the Hoop Hall. I know people from the Hoop Hall are in Puerto Rico now for their site visit. But I know that the MIA reps, we're going to try to reach out to them and get more information on what they were looking at and how they would run this, and whether or not that would fit within the guidelines and the rules that we have to follow for the MIAA.
Ms. Lubold?
What is the time frame that we're bumping up against in terms of a deadline? Because my concern is if we don't know that we have total approval from an MIA perspective, and we have people going out and advertising to fundraise for this event, like what are the parameters there around, like, let's say that I'm knocking on wood, but if it doesn't happen, like what's the protocol for them when they've raised money for this trip and then the trip doesn't happen because of MIAA?
Yeah.
Mr. Soto?
I think Mel could probably speak to the process of like letting the Hoop Hall know that we can't participate, but this has happened in a situation like you described has happened in the past where we wanted the dual language program to go to Puerto Rico, and for for fundraising reasons and other reasons, what happens in the trip just didn't happen, and they delayed it for a future date and returned all the money to the people that had donated, that had donated for the cause. It was mainly it was a lot of families of the students. So in that scenario, we would have to keep really good records on who's donating the money. I spoke to Mel and Lori and the high school basketball coach, and they all expressed like they feel really confident that they're going to be able to raise the money and make this happen for the students. But in the event that something happens and we have to cancel, the money would just be returned.
Thank you. Mr.
And
Sheehan?
again, we need to. No, sorry, I was going to answer the question as well. We need to let the Hoop Hall, they're looking for an answer by the end of June. So obviously I would, again, caution that we don't start fundraising until we know that we have MIA approval and that we could go.
Mr. Sheehan?
So I also want to make clear too that the documents that we received says the fundraising is being done by the booster, which isn't under our purview. So like I understand what you're saying, that they have to keep records.
Yeah.
Like those aren't records that the district's going to be
Correct.
keeping. It's an independent group.
Correct.
Not associated with us that's doing the fundraising. Anyone listening at home or anything there, I don't want people to think that the Holyoke Public Schools or Mel or anyone like that are going to be responsible for this. This is an independent booster club that is fundraising. So it will be their responsibility in all of that to keep those records.
Correct.
And such. I'm going to make a motion to amend this to include the caveat pending MIA approval with an update to the school committee at our July 13th meeting.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mayor Garcia. Discussion on the amendment. All right. Roll call vote, Ms. Feliciano, on the amendment.
Mayor Garcia?
Yes.
Dr. Ricolone?
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Fave? Ms. LaFave?
Sorry, yes.
Ms. Tenzie Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Izaza?
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yes.
Ms. LeBeau?
Yes.
Ms. Molina?
Yes.
As amended, with the inclusion of pending MIA approval. Roll call vote, Ms. Feliciano.
Mayor Garcia?
Yes.
Dr. Ricolone?
Yes.
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 Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Izaza?
Yes.
Yes.
LeBeau?
Yes.
And before we move to our next part of business, which is the orders, I wanted to make sure that I presented to our departing but not very far interim superintendent, Mr. Soto, for all the work that you have done as in your role since being receiver and then being interim superintendent, and dealing with a transition that nobody else had done before. And I just want, on behalf of our Holyoke School Committee, I just want to say thank you. And here you have a plaque to commemorate this awesome moment.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. It's been an amazing experience to, I always envisioned coming to Holyoke. As soon as I started my educational career in Springfield Public Schools, I always envisioned that I would end in Holyoke. It came a lot sooner than I expected, but it was, as soon as I started in this career, like Holyoke was the place I wanted to be. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for your support, your guidance, your encouragement, and everything that allowed me to take my talents and serve the community that I love so much. And, I'm very much happy that I'm going to continue to stay in Holyoke. I know there's plenty of places that I could be, but there's no place that I'd rather be than Holyoke. And I look forward to transitioning to a really great leader any hesitation about me staying in Holyoke was squashed the minute that I found out that Jackie Glasheen was going to be the superintendent, and I look forward to supporting her and continuing to move in the right direction on behalf of the students and staff and families of Holyoke Public Schools.
Thank you, Mr. Soto. Okay. Next, order filed by school committee member Sheehan that the administration studies the benefits and challenges of returning Holyoke High North and Holyoke High Dean Campus and Opportunity Academy as 3 separate independent schools. The report should be completed and presented by January 2027. The motion would be that the school committee refer the order to the Leadership and Accountability Subcommittee. Moved by Mr. Isasa. Do we have a second?
So moved.
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Tensley Williams.
Second.
Discussion? Ms. Lubold.
Can you share a little bit more about just from the background? I know there was a change made, but it would be helpful to understand.
It's more.
Sheehan.
It's more that as we go through transitions, I think we need to take a look at our makeup, and I think that it's something that there's strengths and weaknesses to being one campus or multiple campuses, and I just think we need to take a look at that and be thoughtful about it.
Thank you.
Seeing no further discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Feliciano?
Mayor Garcia?
Yes.
Dr. Rick Colon?
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Mr. Fave?
Yes.
Tensley Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Isaza?
Yes.
Mr. Michael?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
Ms. Molina?
Yes.
Next order, filed by school committee member Sheehan, that the superintendent develop and present a budget and implementation plan to ensure the Fifield room is equipped with appropriate technology and to identify any additional technology or facility upgrades needed to support the district operations. The motion, that the school committee refer the order to the Finance and Operations Subcommittee.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Michelson, seconded by Ms. Lubold. Discussion? Mr. Michelson?
Are we missing something in here? Like, is there something specific we're looking for?
Mr. Sheehan?
Well, we've had multiple meetings that we haven't been able to broadcast live. I mean, this is funded through different stuff through PEG Access, and I just think but the ability for the public not to be able to see us, and it's at no fault of any of the staff. It's just that there's technology limitations, and we need to make sure that we can actually broadcast on public access. We also don't know how long we'll have access to Zoom capabilities for public meetings in the future. Like, I mean, we'll always have Zoom, but like, if it'll be allowed in past 2027.
Thank you.
Seeing no further discussion, roll call vote.
Mayor Garcia.
Yep.
Dr. Recolon.
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan.
Yes.
LaFave.
Yes.
Ms. Tensley Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Michelson.
Yes.
Mr. Zaza. Sorry.
Yes.
Ms. Lubo.
Yes.
And Ms. Molina.
Yes.
Next, we have approval of meeting minutes. May I have a motion that the school committee vote to accept and approve the meeting minutes of the June 8th budget hearing?
So moved.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Tensley Williams, seconded by Mr. Michelson. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mayor Garcia.
Yes.
Dr. Recolon.
Yes.
And
Yes.
LaFave.
Yes.
Ms. Tensley Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Izaza.
Yes.
Mr. Michelson.
Yes.
Ms. Lubo.
Yes.
Ms. Molina.
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
Going to make a motion to approve the minutes of the 127 policy committee meeting, the 325 policy committee meeting, and the 48 policy committee meeting.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Michelson. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Mayor Garcia.
Yes.
Dr. Recolon.
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan.
Yes.
Ms. LaFave.
Yes.
Ms. Tensley Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Izaza.
Yes.
Mr. Michelson.
Yes.
Ms. Lubo.
Yes.
Ms. Molina.
Yes.
Thank you. Next up, updates of committees. Policy and Governance Subcommittee, we have a recommendation that the school committee vote to approve the FMLA Child Bonding Leave 2026 as amended in the document presented on the agenda by the Policy and Governance Subcommittee. May I have a motion?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Moved by Mr. Michelson, seconded by Ms. Tensley Williams. Discussion. Mr. Sheehan.
The text of this looks different than earlier today. I don't know if anyone has a printed version or not. Did something change in the body of this?
Thank you, Ms. Molina.
Yeah, the red language.
Mr. Soto.
The red language was a proposal that was made in the subcommittee meeting to add that language. So it was added that same day, which is why it's in red. So in the subcommittee meeting, there was a motion made, I believe, by Mr. Michelson to add this language, and that's what was added in. And that's been there since the last.
But it's not here now.
So earlier today, all I did was update the permission so that it's view only, not comment only. So maybe because that's, I don't know why that red is not there, but that has been there since the policy meeting where it was brought up.
It seems to be
It's probably a
a
suggested edit.
format issue. because since it's not an accepted edit there,
It's not an
it doesn't show up
Yes.
in ours.
So like if I click this check to accept that language, which was the language that was agreed to in the policy meeting, then it'll show up for anybody that has view only access.
Right.
That makes sense?
Mr. Sheehan?
So did the policy committee, what was the policy committee's recommendation? We should be seeing whatever the policy committee recommended to the committee.
Okay, go ahead, Jens.
Mr. Michelson?
So the red line. So I looked at this. I saw it a couple days ago. I saw the version you just saw in paper, right? That comment was an addition to this, and that was what the recommendation of the subcommittee was to provide that comment, which addressed front loading. I believe it was sick time.
Yeah.
Mr. Soto?
Yeah, so what happened at the subcommittee was exactly what you guys see in front of you. And the motion was to recommend this to get approved by the full committee and add this language, which reads, for purposes of child bonding leave under this provision, the district may advance up to 10 days of sick leave that the employee is expected to accrue during the remainder of the applicable school year. Any advanced sick leave shall be deducted from future sick leave accruals as they are earned. If the employee separates from employment before earning back all advanced sick leave, the value of the unearned advanced leave shall be repaid to the district through payroll deduction from any amounts owed to the employee at separation to the extent permitted by law or otherwise reimbursed by the employee. So the motion was made to recommend this to be approved by the full committee and amended to include this language.
Ms. LaFave?
I'm not seeing that in my link, so that's, I'm like going back and forth trying to find it. So how do I access what we had recommended to add?
I mean, I'll click accept right now and you should be able to see it. But the minutes should reflect that it was moved to the full committee, and what I just read was read in that policy meeting and approved by the policy subcommittee. It was a way for us to track what the policy subcommittee read in the meeting and what the recommended edit was to what was in front of them. So I think my personal opinion is in the future when something like this happens, we probably need to have instead of a suggested edit, we have to have literally type out add, or not a suggested edit, but whenever we want to recommend add, that we actually do it in the text and say recommended add by the policy subcommittee. We use the feature that exists in Google Docs that is really for a reviewer, where you can suggest an edit, but somebody has to approve it for it to appear for it to appear to anybody that doesn't have that edit access to the document.
Ms. LaFave, is this a new hand or is still the same
Yeah,
hand?
so I'm sorry. Is it okay, Dr. Rivera?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so I was hoping that this would come in red, because typically that's what we also do, even for the policies when we're going to add stuff. So you see what's original, then what the recommendations are in red or struck out, and then you see the cleaner version of what it would look like. So it was kind of hard to really figure out what it was and try to recall what it was that we had approved or recommended for the full board to consider. But I would also had some other questions, if permitted.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Ms. Lefebvre.
Okay, so, thank you. Mr. Soto, in regards to, paid leave, that staff can access, what are the various types of leave that they can access that can also be used if it's for pregnancy, child bonding, whatever the case is? Or are we saying that it can only be sick leave?
People can use their personal time, so like vacation and personal if they have that in their accrual bank.
What's the most that a person can roll over and have in a given year to utilize towards that?
For vacation, it's 10 days. For personal, those do not roll over.
So the max anybody technically would get for a fiscal year, school year is basically up to 30?
The answer that I just provided you was for vacation only. So sick time does roll over every year. So if a person has more than, if a person has 90 days, what we're saying is that for purposes of FMLA, that they're allowed to use up to 30 days of accrued sick leave in connection with the birth, adoption, or placement of a child.
Before going into unpaid status, but they could still have more accrued time in their books, correct?
Yeah, so in that scenario, let's say the employee exhausted their 10 vacation days that they had for the year, their 3 personal days that they had for the year. They could use up to 30 sick days. And in the scenario that I just described, a person having 90 sick days in their bank, they would still have 60 sick days in their bank, but they wouldn't be able to use them during that FMLA. But they would, they would still be there. Currently, and we had this discussion in the policy subcommittee, currently the sick leave policy only allows you to use 3 sick days to care for another family member. So this particular change is very beneficial and is responsive to a lot of the feedback that we have and the discussions that we had during the collective bargaining process. They would get 7 child bonding days in addition to whatever they use with sick, and instead of only being allowed to use 3 days, they would be able to use up to 30 of sick time if they have it in their bank.
So technically they can go up to 40 days total if you're looking at the 10.
It all depends on how much they have in their accrued leave.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lefebvre. Mr. Sheehan.
One comment, just so people, if anyone's listening, this only applies to people not covered by a collective bargaining agreement or other contract. Just so it's your collective bargaining agreement dictates everything else. So just to be clear, a person under this policy could access 30 days of accrued sick leave. They could use 7 days of bonding, and then whatever is in their earned vacation time for their leave, which could include 10 days carried over from the year prior, and then whatever they're currently earning in the current year.
Correct, until they start tapping into unpaid time.
Okay. So why don't we mention here that they can, or that they can use their sick and personal time? Or
Well,
do
this
we need
this
to?
does talk about the sick.
Or their their vacation and personal time.
Because there's nothing preventing people from using their vacation and personal time already there's a whole separate vacation section in the handbook, and that's not changing. There's nothing preventing them from using that. But the FMLA, or the child bonding leave section, which was newly added, just addresses the sick language that was in that section before. But you know, if you guys think that, if the members think that we should include that here, you know, that I don't see the problem with amending the language that's in here.
Mr. Michelson?
So just to clarify, my understanding through this is what Mr. Sheehan's asking you is 30 days a hard cap of what you could spend your sick time on, and why not be explicit about the rest of the other vacation and other leave mechanisms that you could get to get up to your 12 weeks, which would be the entire FMLA period. Is that correct? Like, how do you fill in the blank?
Yes, or I'm just, oh, sorry.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes, I'm just wondering if you can use other time when you apply for this leave. That's more, yes, whether it fills in a gap, or if you can say I'm going to use my vacation days first, my 10 that I carried over, and I've earned 8 more because I've been an employee from September to December or whatever.
Okay, that makes sense. And then one more thing is, I was looking at the policy GCCCE. It gives a married couple with both parents married by the district, you get 60 days. And I was just thinking about this. I didn't know why it might be different for a married couple versus one individual getting the same amount of time. So from the 30-day thing, I understand that was a step to getting to the 60, but I also don't see a reason to hold it back from 60 if you have an ability in that policy to make it go to 60 for a family, but you only get 30 for an individual.
Ms. Lefebvre?
Yeah, so we keep talking about this one as a policy, but if I wasn't mistaken, I was told that this was part of the handbook and that we needed to update the handbook. That policy that everyone's talking about has not come forth to the full board, not even for a first reading. So this is stuff that we're going to have to bring back at our July meeting to really discuss, to refer to the policy subcommittee for all of the updates that we plan on doing. But now that I had asked in regards to, can somebody exceed, right? Could be 40 days. When I'm reading this, I'm wondering if people are thinking that you're kind of stuck at only up to 30 days that they can take off, when in reality, some may even go 40. If they're actually using their vacation, their personal, the sick, and plus whatever is being given towards the child family bonding leave. So why couldn't we then put in there that employees may use up to 60 days of accrued overall time? And be explicit as to what time they can use?
Mr. Soto?
I think what's being recommended right now is specifically speaking to the 30 days of sick time. It doesn't address, so there's what's newly added is the 7 days of child bonding, and then increasing what you could use your sick time on from 3 to 30. Because currently what exists in the handbook for 12-month employees, non-bargaining, is that there's a you know, the sick allowable sick use policy in the handbook currently only allows you to use 3 days to care for another family member. This would be increasing it to 30. This, you know, this doesn't necessarily address that you can use your vacation time and your PTO, your, you know, your personal days, which employees are already entitled to do that.
Ms. LaFave?
I personally think this is all very confusing because it seems that something's going to be found in a different policy and they can look at that other policy and this policy. If we're just talking about family child bonding leave, why isn't everything just in that one thing then? That's just my personal opinion.
So, Mr. Sheehan?
So I guess I'm just wondering, what was the rationale around the number 30 rather than 60, which would be the full amount? If it's the person's sick leave, like what's the rationale around using 30?
Yeah, the rationale is we thought that was an appropriate increase from 3. If you know, if you know, there's nothing. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, we just thought it was a reasonable amount to add. You know, adding more does come at an additional, you know, cost. So we thought this is a good place to start, and moving in the right direction.
Mr. Sheehan?
I guess I'm just concerned that we are separate from also the city's policy on it. Like the city lets you use your paid leave first, and you can use all of your paid leave I'm reading the city policy right now, for leave, for this type of stuff because they follow exactly what's FMLA. So I guess why the deviation from, I mean, I don't think we always have to do exactly what the city does, but what was the thought process? If there's a cost on the schools, is there not a cost for the city? Like what's the thought process on that? And how,
Yeah, I mean,
how
there's
that impact?
I mean, we differ in a lot of cases with the city's policies, right? Like, so this proposal also adds child bonding days. I'm not sure if the city has child bonding days, but considering the process that we just went through with the collective bargaining agreement, this was one, you know, what we thought was one step in the right direction to do, to adjust our current for non-bargaining, in the same direction. So, you know, I don't have a clear answer with numbers or anything like that, but this was our starting point. And you know, admittedly, we didn't look at, you know, the city's policy. We looked at where we're at right now and what our current policy and practice has been for the last, you know, 10 years or so with the employee handbook, and worked from there.
Ms. LaFave?
All right, I'm sorry. But now that everything's coming to my mind right now. So let's even talk about the individual that's actually having a child, right? So alone right there, postpartum care is up to 6 weeks. Technically 6 weeks, because that's when they get their first follow-up appointment. That's 42 days. Well, if you look at it by 5 days, that's 30 days right there, but then could kick in whatever else they take, you know, that they have accumulated. So if you're looking at 30 sick days for that alone, that's just for that aspect of having a child, but then they may have the vacation. So that's why it's just having so many different policies are saying, well, we don't have vacation time included in here, that'll be somewhere else, or they don't have the personal time included in here, that's somewhere else. That's too much to be trying to navigate to really know what they have available for the use.
Yeah, I mean, the change we're making is specifically about how you can use your sick time. We're not making any changes about how you can use your vacation or your personal days. The what's being recommended is specifically about your sick time. And in the scenario that you described, where the individual that is having a baby, they usually have a medical reason for not being able to return to work with a doctor's note, and like there's nothing in the current employee handbook that there's no for those individuals, they're not capped at 3 days. They whatever they have in their sick bank, they use throughout the FMLA if they have the accrued time. The sick language that we have in there now, specifically talking about caring for another sick individual, caps that time at 3, and we're just trying to increase it to 30 and add the 7 child bonding days. I do see your point, and I think that when we do bring forward, I know it was recommended to go to the policy, we'll be able to see the entire employee handbook, which you'll see language in there for vacation and personal and holidays, and all of that language will be in there. The reason why this was isolated and separate, because it represents a substantive change to the existing policy, and we wanted to get the conversation going early. But I know we're going to be discussing the employee handbook and student handbook at a future meeting, and that's where all of that is. Any individual that is in this scenario, I can guarantee you, Ms. LaFave, that they do reach out to human resources, well in advance, and if they have any questions about like how long their leave could be, what they can use, what they cannot use, our human resources department, if they are struggling to understand what benefits are available to them, I think it is clear once you reading the employee handbook in its totality, and you're in that scenario, our human resources department works with them when they submit their paperwork and goes through all of their options.
Thank you.
Mr. Michelson?
Yeah, I think I'll finish up the last concern I have. I think there was consideration of the FMLA period being 60 days, and if this was 30 days of it, right, then you could potentially enter the unpaid status before actually exhausting your FMLA. I think the general sense, what I'm getting from you is exhaust everything you have within that 60-day time period. This 30 days is only for the sick time.
Correct.
You can use the rest of your leave how you see fit, and that satisfies me. Thank you.
Seeing no further discussion? Roll call vote. Mr. Michelson?
So are we voting on the order as it was written in the agenda before we had it updated, or are we voting on the amended?
As amended in the document presented on the agenda.
And it is now amended. I see. Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Sheehan?
I just need to get back to the whole cost part of it. So what is explain to me what the cost of the district is in these types of positions that are non-bargaining positions that are governed under separate people. Like, how many people in the district does this policy apply to?
I wish I had the number on the top of my head, but I can give you an example of like where we would incur costs.
Okay.
If that helps. So if we have, if we have an individual who works in our transportation department, right? And they're responsible for routing our buses, we would have to go out and hire a consultant to do that routing for us during that period that they're not there. In other cases where they're, we've had to bring on consultants to help support some of the work. If it's peak season in human resources and we need some additional hands on deck to help with, or the enrollment office to help with the enrollment season, we would we would either have to incur cost through overtime or incur cost through hiring part-time help to support the work. That's just one example, but
Mr. Sheehan?
And for the child bonding leave, where did the number 7 come from?
I believe that was the same number that we had in the collective bargaining agreement. Is that right, Jackie? Yeah.
So I understand that, but like, and that's for a group of 180-day employees. The employees that this covers, are they mostly 12-month employees? Are they 10-month employees? Are they 180-day, 240, or what?
Mostly 12-month.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to amend the number from 7 to 10.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
So moved.
Any discussion on the amendment? Mr. Sheehan?
So I bring the fact to bring it from 7 to 10 because that is a full 2 weeks. And I think when you think about a work week, I mean, we give, with vacation time, we give them out in full weeks. You get 10 weeks or 10 days vacation, 15 days vacation. I mean, to get 7, you'd get Monday through Friday and then Monday and Tuesday. And like, depending on how you break this up, and you could use other time. So I think that the 10 would at least bring it that you'd have that full 2 weeks of that bonding time, which really gets you more time when you think weekends, to add that. And I think when you're talking about year-round employees, I mean, it's a little bit different.
Makes sense to me.
And that'd be reflected in the 2 areas with the 7, 10 in the
document.
Yeah, in the document.
Any further discussion? Ms. Lubold?
So there's just a lot of numbers. I'm just, my head is, so some people have 7 days of child bonding, but now others would have 10 days of child bonding? Am I misunderstanding that?
Mr. Sheehan?
Right now, HTA gets 7, and everyone else gets 0.
0.
Okay.
This policy would still leave HTA with 7, and all non-bargaining year-round employees would get 10.
And
no other collective bargaining agreement has child bonding.
okay, but why wouldn't we do 7 and 7? I'm asking. I'm trying to understand. I get your point about the 2 weeks, but we just told a group of people that 7 days for child bonding. Now we're going to tell another group of people that they can get more.
Yeah.
Mr. Sheehan?
I did because the work schedule is different. I mean, you work 185 days, or you work 12 months. Like, it's a different work schedule with it. So
These are employees that work year-round,
Dr.
not just
Sloan?
185 days.
Well, I understand that, but I'm thinking child bonding is child bonding when you have a child. That's all. I'm just thinking about that from different constituencies.
May I make a statement?
Ms. Tensley Williams, go ahead.
I totally agree with Devin, because 3 more days really is not going to hurt, and I think the 3 more days would work. 7 is okay. 7 is the number of completion, but 3 more days would help. So I agree with him as far as 10 days. That's just my thoughts.
Thank you, Ms. Tensley Williams. Mr. Sheehan?
And Mr. Superintendent, correct me if I'm wrong, I also think in the teacher's contract that they can utilize all of their paid time first and not capped. So like, these people can only use 30 sick days and then they go to unpaid. Whereas in the HTA contract, you can use 100% of your paid time and not go to unpaid until you use it. So we're limiting on this that you can't, correct?
Yes.
Ms. Lubold?
I just want to say thank you for that clarification. That was helpful.
Any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Mayor Garcia.
Yes.
Dr. Ricolo.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Fave.
Yes.
Ms. Tensley Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Izaza.
Yes.
Mr. Michelson.
Yes.
Ms. Lubo.
Yes.
And Ms. Molina.
Yes.
As amended, roll call vote.
Mayor Garcia.
Yes.
Dr. Ricolo.
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan.
Yes.
Mr. Fave. The Fave.
She's not on.
She left. All right. Ms. Tensley Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Izaza.
Yes.
Mr. Michelson.
Yes.
Ms. Lubo.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
Just want to make one comment, just as the superintendent pointed out, we're getting the entire employee policy again in a couple weeks, so this will be updated. I mean, if there's any tweaks, this could also be reviewed and changed again. So I don't want people to think like it's not final until it's final in July. So just like, don't start planning life until it's final in July. Like that's the big point. Like we're getting this back again.
Thank you for that, Mr. Sheehan. Which includes this next thing. Wellness policy. Motion that the school committee votes to approve the wellness policy of 2026 of the Holyoke Public Schools as listed.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Michelson, seconded by Mr. Isasa. Discussion. Ms. Lubold?
Thank you. So great policy, awesome information in terms of helping have our kids have healthy food and healthy minds. The correlation there is great, and I love to see the district putting that in a policy. Like, it's really terrific. I did have some questions at subcommittee that I wasn't able to talk about, so I'm going to ask them here. One is I did have an opportunity to ask a question of superintendent before the subcommittee meeting, and I appreciate your response. And my questions are more of a follow-up to that. It was said back to me, my question was more around, I had gotten some constituent complaints about food quality, but also teachers with concerns about the makeup of the food being served on MCAS day, so high stake testing day, and whether there was protein and so on and so forth. And so that was the basis of my question. And the answer that I got back, so I have just 4 follow-ups. So it was stated in the policy and also in your letter back to me that the food, the quality is inspected regularly. So what is regularly from a compliance perspective? Is that like 3 days? Is it?
Yeah, we have, Sodexo has a couple of employees that are out there. They're not at every school every day, but they're at a school every single day.
Right. So I guess it's just not, it's not a finite number. Like, are they being inspected every week? Is it every other week, or like what? Like
Every
what
day.
is every day? Okay.
It just might, it's not every single school every day, but the Sodexo manager and their compliance staff member there are at least one school every day. So they might go to Sullivan one day, the next day they'll be at Donahue, the next day they'll be at Ian White. And when they do visit, those are things that they're looking for. They're looking at quality control.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then specific to the piece about the MCAS and the high stakes testing, the closing of the answer was around that some principals ask for brown bag lunches during that day, and that is, and this is from a quote perspective, like we know that that's less appealing to consumers. So when I read the policy, I see like the nursing team, the nutrition team, that they're all providing that. But then in this particular instance, it points to the principals making a decision that we're going to go with a brown bag lunch on the high stakes testing, even though the consumers don't like it. So like, I don't understand why that is happening.
Yeah, I mean the bag lunches are still compliant. They're just, it's not a hot lunch that sometimes, obviously a student, if
Yeah.
you had to choose from a bag lunch or a slice of pizza and a fruit, and your normal lunch, it's not as appealing. But principals, in depending on the schedule of MCAS, some students are based on the schedule. Basically, the principal can reach out and request to the food service department that they want to do a bag lunch because it would help with that particular day.
Okay.
There's nothing, we don't tell them they can't do that. If it works because of the schedule, like, it's not something that we've ever stepped in and said no, even if it's a half day or a modified schedule for MCAS, you have to have a hot lunch. We've
Yeah.
never done that before.
But it would fit. It would fit with the compliance of what's written in the policy.
The bag
Like,
lunch would
whatever-
fit, yeah.
Whatever it is.
It would still have to have the same components that are required for a reimbursable meal.
Okay. Okay. And this was just a question because it wasn't clear from the policy, the subcommittee policy, but like, did we already pick the school community health council? Did we already pick the people that are on that, or is that something that's going to happen?
They've met. I don't know. I don't have a list of who's on there right now, but Cynthia Carboni, our health and wellness director, works with that group regularly.
Okay. And then I know that it's a triennial assessment. This is my last question, by the way, but triennial assessment, are there other milestones? And the reason I'm asking this question, just for people watching and those in the room, it's a really voluminous policy. It's very rigorous on nutrition. There's a lot of words that say encourage and so on and so forth, but I don't see the compliance end of it, right? Like, then that's kind of why I'm asking that, because I would love to see all of this implemented, and I think it's awesome. But my thing is, how are we, if it's every 3 years and then we don't get a report card about how it's doing, like, what are the other milestones that are along the way that we can make sure that the kids are getting exactly what this policy says?
Our meals have to be compliant with the federal nutrition programs, and our menus on a weekly basis are run through a software program that analyzes the menus and spits out whether or not the meal is compliant. In terms of quality control, what usually happens is if there is a concern, it's raised to the food service department and myself, and we go out and investigate it and make sure it happens. Or, as an example, there's some, like if we are out of compliance in any way, either the nurse is going to reach out and let Cynthia know, and Cynthia's going to let the superintendent and myself know, or the food service provider is going to elevate those concerns to Cynthia and myself and say, hey, this school is, selling XYZ, on a regular basis every single day during lunch. They would elevate that concern, and we would talk to the principal and let them know they're out of compliance with the wellness policy and that they can't do that. So it's not I don't have like a regular schedule of it, but I can tell you from experience, our nurses don't play and our food service department doesn't play. Whenever there's violations to this policy, they elevate those concerns and we address them immediately with the principal.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mayor Garcia,
Yes.
Dr. Rivera Colon.
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan.
Yes.
Sorry. Ms. LaFave.
Yes.
Ms. Tensley Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Izaza.
Yes.
Mr. Michelson.
Yes.
Ms. Sabo.
Yes.
Ms.
Yes.
Next, we have the motion that the school committee vote to approve the middle school CTE pathway exploration policy as listed on the agenda.
So motion.
Moved by Mr. Michelson. Do we have a second? Seconded by Mr.
Second.
Isasa. Discussion. Mr. Michelson.
Yeah, there was one thing that I saw in here. The page 3, it said it gets submitted to DESE by November 1st, 2025. So I'd like to. Do we need to make a motion to amend that? Is this our document?
This was already set, like we had to submit it to DESE. We reviewed this in September, but we let DESE know that it was pending school committee approval.
So this hasn't been submitted yet?
It was, but they are aware that the school committee hasn't approved it yet. And once we get school committee approval, we'll let them know that it was approved by school committee.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Lubold.
I love the concept of reaching out to the middle school community. My question is around how does this work with the limited spots that we have at Dean when we're talking to kids and we're getting them excited? And I know reading one of the other agenda items that there is a measure of that, but I just was curious, just thinking about middle school kids and being excited about this pathway and not maybe being able to have that opportunity.
Yeah, it's definitely an unfortunate reality of, limited seats in CTE here. This is essentially a template that the state is requiring all districts to have. They're requiring you to have an updated CTE admissions policy and then a policy around middle school pathways. The language is pretty much identical to the template provided. In fact, since September, there's a whole section in here that's really relevant to regional vocational districts that I'm hoping we can revise either in policy or here. But this is new legislation that came out in the summertime, and part of that process was you have to update your policies to reflect this new guidance. So the reality is we're required to do that outreach, but honestly, we were already doing it. So like in Holyoke, even prior to this, all 8th graders would visit the North Campus, and all 8th graders would visit Dean prior to them making their selections. And we would organize those tours. Every single 8th grader that obviously was present that day, and if they happened to be absent, there's always an opportunity for them to schedule a separate tour of the facility. But this is no different. Last year and the year before, there were students that got to visit Dean and were interested in it, applied for it, and through the lottery process didn't get in.
Mr. Sheehan?
Make a motion to strike section 6, records and data sharing.
Motion made by Mr. Sheehan. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Lubold. Discussion. Mr. Sheehan.
This is just the section that's only applicable to regional vocational schools, since the data's already here.
Any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Mayor Garcia,
Yes.
Dr. Rickles,
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan.
Yes.
Hey, Ms. LaFave.
Yes.
Ms. Tenzie Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Izaza,
Yes.
Mr. Michelson,
Yes.
Ms. Lubo,
Yes.
and Ms. Molina.
Yes.
As amended, roll call vote.
Mayor Garcia,
Yes.
Dr. Rickles,
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan. Ms. LaFave, Tenzie Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Izaza,
Yes.
Mr. Michelson,
Yes.
Ms. Lubo,
Yes.
and Ms. Molina. Sorry, excuse me.
Yes.
Finance and Operations Subcommittee report. Anything to report, Mr. Sheehan?
No.
Joint City Council and School Committee. No report. Leadership, Accountability, and Measurement Subcommittee. Ms. LaFave.
So you see a lot of reports here, a lot of evaluations. But the first one I would like to ask Ms. Lubold, as she was kind enough to do the modified version of the summative report, and then I will speak on the long version of the report.
So the short evaluation summary is.
Can I stop
sorry.
you 1 second? Let's just make the motion so that way once we finish. Whoa. Not yet.
I'll make a motion to approve the evaluation of the interim superintendent.
Motion made by Mr. Sheehan,
So
seconded by Mr. Isasa. Ms. Lubold.
So the short summary is a compilation of the work product that we did separately for the short version, all of us as individual members, where we tried to hit on every element to the best of my ability and come up with a consensus summary, basically, for everyone. Is there more you need me to say? I don't know.
Thank you, Ms.
Do you want me to
Lubold.
read it too? I don't know.
No, please do not. Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. LaFave?
All right, so the longer version is there was some redundancy to it because it kind of brought over what the modified version had. But overall, I could say that proficient. There is an area where you'll see where there was needing improvement, and that was on family and community engagement. I did speak with interim Superintendent Soto. We went through the evaluation last week and asked, if some feedback. Overall, through the years that he has served as the first receiver and then interim superintendent, he has been very involved with family and community engagement and really out there, even knowing the students and being highly involved. I thank him for the service that he's done for us. Exemplary, as you can see, would be under finance and fiscal management, but then again, that's his strong background. He did pick in each indicator or performance areas. He did pick, and you'll see where they're checked off as their focus indicators that he chose for section 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we did do like a summary of overall his performance and some feedback on how it can improve, but obviously how it can improve moving forward, even with the new superintendent. Does anybody, I don't know if anybody has any questions. I think that was good.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes, thank you for compiling this. I know it's a challenging document at times. On the performance for standard 3, family and community engagement, so the rated items should have been the 2 focus indicator items, 3A and 3C. So I'm just wondering why if both of those are proficient, why it's a needs improvement overall.
So, although in those two areas that he chose as the focus indicator came out as proficient, it's asking for an overall rating. And it was kind of hard because you have two that are needing improvement and then two that are proficient. So it's like there's no in between. I would have loved to have put the X right in between both lines. That's my only thing.
Mr. Sheehan?
But I thought the process is just to rate on the focus indicators, not on all.
When I read through that, that's what I thought. You have to go through all, but then you focus mainly on what the individual chooses. Like you still have to rate every indicator, and then next to it, where it says focus indicator check if yes, then you would check it if that was one of the focus areas. It made it much longer.
Thank you, Ms. Lefebvre. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mayor Garcia?
Yep.
Dr. Rickon?
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Ms. LaFave?
Yes.
Ms. Tensley Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Izaza?
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yes.
Ms. Lubo?
Yes. Yes.
Moving on to ongoing business. Motion that the school committee vote to accept and approve the Holyoke High School Dean Campus Career Technical Education Recruitment, Admission, and Retention Policy of 25-26.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Sheehan on the motion, seconded by,
He can have it.
okay, Mr. Isaza. Discussion. Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mayor Garcia?
Yes.
Dr. Rickon?
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. LaFave?
Yes.
Tensley Williams?
Yes.
Izaza?
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Moving on to policy updates. First read. Motion that the school committee vote to approve first reading of policy DBJ.
So moved.
So
Motion
moved.
by Mr. Sheehan, seconded by Ms. Tensley Williams. Discussion. Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dr. Rickon?
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Ms. LaFave?
Yes.
Ms. Tensley Williams? Ms. Tensley Williams?
See, yes.
Mr. Izaza?
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yes.
Ms. Lubo?
Yes. Yes.
Motion that the school committee vote to approve first reading for policy EB.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Michelson, seconded by Mr. Sheehan. Discussion. Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Mayor Garcia?
Yes.
Dr. Rickon?
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Ms. LaFave?
Yes.
Tensley Williams?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yes.
Ms. Lubo?
Yes.
And Ms.
Yes.
Motion that the school committee vote to approve first reading of policy AC.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Michelson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Tensley Williams.
Second.
Discussion. Seeing none, roll call vote.
Mayor Garcia?
Yes.
Dr. Rickon?
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan? Ms. LaFave?
Yes.
Tensley Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Izaza?
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yes.
Ms. Lubo?
Yes.
Ms. Molina?
Yes.
Motion that the school committee vote to approve first reading of policy JKAA.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Sheehan. Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Michelson. Discussion. Seeing none,
Mayor
roll call vote.
Garcia?
Yes.
Dr. Rickon?
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Ms. LaFave?
Yes.
Tensley Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Izaza?
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yes.
Ms. Lubo?
Yes.
Ms. Molina?
Yes.
Motion that the school committee vote to approve first reading of policy JICFB.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Sheehan, seconded by Ms. Lubel. Discussion? Mr. Michelson.
I'm just gonna throw some of the stuff that's in some of the removals is in this bullying prevention, right? Some of like the harassment information, right? It gets covered in the bullying prevention policy. So if you're looking for something and wondering where it went in the other removals, that's where it's at.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Mayor Garcia.
Yes.
Dr. Riccolo.
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Fave.
Yes.
Kenzie.
Yes.
Mr. Isaza.
Yes.
Mr. Michelson.
Yes.
Ms. Lubo.
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
I'd like to make a motion, the school committee vote to remove policies KBBAE, KBBAR, DKCR, ACA, ACAB, and JICK.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Sheehan,
So
seconded by
moved.
Ms. Lefebvre. Any discussion? Ms. Lubel.
I just want to be clear that ACA, ACAB, and JICK are in the bullying prevention. Are they all? Because some of the ones that Mr. Sheehan read, the top three have an explanation about what they are and where they go, but the others did not to me, and maybe I missed it, but at least when I was looking at it last night,
ACA.
where do those go?
Ms. Lefebvre.
That's where you would have policy AC, which was fully developed overall, and JICFB. So in between those two is where you're going to find the reasons to remove JICK, ACAB, and ACA, because all of what's in there is already described in those two policies.
Yep.
Just for clarification, so just for the members of the public who are looking at this, that we do have non-discrimination on the basis of sex, sexual harassment, and harassment of students covered in other policies.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mayor Garcia.
Yes.
Dr. Riccolo.
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan.
Yes.
Ms. Lefebvre.
Yes.
Kenzie Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Isaza.
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Lubo.
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
Make a motion, school committee vote to approve a second and final reading of DGA, DI, DIE, FA, KHB, and LBC.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Sheehan, seconded by Ms. Lefebvre. Discussion. Ms. Lefebvre?
Second and final reading, correct? Oh, okay. Sorry. Just want to make sure. I do not want to bring this back.
Mr. Michelson?
Yeah, so some of those second reads are over a year, like we're a year past on that, right? And for example, in the DI, we're going to be going to monthly financial statements. I think we're in monthly financial statements. Is that what we want? Right? Like that was what the old committee wanted. Is that what the new? I understand that it's like in a purgatory state, right? But is that what we want? So that was thing one, and the other thing was with the audits. Would we be throwing ourselves into a non-compliance situation? I know that we're like, I don't know. I couldn't find any audit information available, so I just wanted to ask those two questions before approving either of them.
Ms. Lefebvre?
So I just want to make clear to everybody that we paid MASC $10,000 to
Hold
do a
on, Ms.
full-
Lefebvre.
Okay.
Mr. Sheehan?
So as far as the questions that were asked around financial reports and the monthly,
As the chair of the finance subcommittee.
Yep.
It's just because he had the answer to the question, Ms. Lefebvre.
yes, we already got them, but there's no way to get, like, books are closed out monthly. So that's why it's done in a monthly cycle, and that's something that was never done before. So that's why it was established as monthly in the policy. Like it wouldn't be work productive to get weekly financial statements because that's not how things are closed out. And we also might be getting financial reports that are a month, like you may not get the May report on June 1st. You maybe get it like it's late. So that's why it's a monthly financial report. And with the audits, I'm not sure I fully understand the question because the city is audited and we provide everything to like through that process, but I guess I need more clarity on your question. We don't do an independent audit. I mean, we meet our ESC audit requirements. We meet our audit requirements under the federal universal school lunch program. We meet our audit requirements at the city and the state division of local services and all that. We submit that all to DESE once a year, but I guess I need clarity on.
Mr. Michelson?
So I went to Google. I was looking for audits, right? And it says basically we're going to be audited as a branch within the city, right? That's my understanding of this policy, right? And I was looking for information that suggested that we had, because I was curious, what does an audit of this actually look like? And I could not find one. So I was concerned that I could not find one. And when I cannot find one, that means there either isn't one. And I'm not saying this to be critical of anything. I'm saying this from a place of understanding.
Mr. Sheehan?
So as far as the audits that the city does on it, I couldn't answer that for you. We could probably bring in the auditor to discuss that if there's questions around it. But all of the grant audits and the DESE audits are all available. The year-end reports are all available on the DESE website, I believe, and the superintendent can correct that. But I mean, all of that is, we are in compliance. Like I can't speak for the internal auditing of the city.
Mr. Soto?
Yeah, so Mr. Sheehan is absolutely correct. The one that we definitely do every year, or that we've done every year, is the end of year financial compliance audit, and we do our own internal audit of student activities. The whole city audit and the federal single act audit is tied into the city's process. So I believe that 23 was
It's done.
it was done, and they're working on 24. We don't go out and get a separate audit from the city, so we're kind of tied to that process. And the way it works is the external auditor works with the city auditor, and the city auditor generates an open request list and submits to several departments what they need. They gather whatever they need, and they have a whole section for the schools. Schools, we need you to provide XYZ. We provide it to them, and then whatever management letter is issued to the city of Holyoke, the schools is included in that.
Mr. Michelson?
All right, so the final question would be, if I looked at the existing policy right now, the existing policy is very, very, very forgiving relative to this proposed policy, right? So if we go into an approved policy that says we're going to be doing these types of audits, I see that the bottom of this proposed policy, which references the reports you were talking about with the end of year financial compliance report, right? That makes sense to me. But what I don't want to do is immediately say that we're going to, I think that, yeah, so as a department, City of Holyoke, an audit of the school department shall be conducted annually by external auditors within 9 months of the close of the fiscal year, right? I don't want to prove that today if we don't have something for the last couple of years, right? I see that we're in compliance with the other stuff. It doesn't make sense to me to approve something that we can't be in compliance of.
Ms. Lefebvre?
So I know that many that are here were not part of this process of the policies. When we were going into our transition, one of our part of our getting out of receivership, we came up with a plan of what we were going to do, and one of them was to go through every single policy, update them to the most current, and as well as according to federal law, state laws, anything that was updated in the years, and also to be reflective of a district that's no longer in receivership, because a lot of it said receiver or whatever. So we paid an outside agency to come in and to work with the policy subcommittee to do an overhaul of all of these policies. They have all been reviewed. So what we're doing now is going back to every single meeting minute that ever happened on these policies to then go to what was originally recommended at that time. So this is the time that if you are asking for a change, it's fine if you want to do an amendment on the second read. It will come back. No, it won't come back. It gets referred back. No, it's done. You can just say no. Your vote could be then a no. But the first read is basically if you want to add something to it, but then the second read, you can amend to what? To this one?
You can amend during the
And
second
we
read,
make it
it
right
just
here?
it will become the final.
Okay, it'll become the final. Okay, well, if you want to amend and it gets approved on the amendment, but just like this is all I'm saying. This is not something that we just came up with. This is something that it's going back to every single meeting minute. What was the discussion? An MASC representative was there for each meeting to go over every single policy and anything that's current right now that's being published out by MASC for updates will also be brought forward for recommendations for change.
Any further discussion? Well, I haven't heard any amendments yet. Mr. Michelson?
So I don't know what the proper method to do this is, but I want to split DIE off of the rest of the package. So there was a motion made and seconded. So a motion to reconsider taking those as a package. Okay. I make a motion to remove DIE from the package.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded. Seconded by Ms. Lubold. Discussion? Roll call vote.
Mayor Garcia,
Yes.
Dr. Rare Colon.
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. LaFave.
Yes.
Ms. Tenzie Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Izaza.
Yes.
Mr. Michelson.
Yes.
Ms. LeBeau.
Yes. Yes.
So any further discussion on the main motion, which includes all the other ones except the one that we just pulled out? All right. Roll call vote, Ms. Feliciano.
Mayor Garcia,
Yes.
Dr. Rare Colon.
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan.
Yes.
Ms. LaFave.
Yes.
Ms. Tenzie Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Izaza.
Yes.
Mr. Michelson.
Yes.
Ms. LeBeau.
Yes.
And Ms. Molina.
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes. Back to DIE. Discussion. Mr. Michelson.
We need to make a motion to approve DIE as a second and final read.
Correct.
I'll
May I
make
have
a
a
motion to
motion?
approve DIE as a second and final read.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Sheehan, seconded by Ms. LaFave. Discussion, Mr. Michelson.
Yeah, so I just want, I'm not trying to be ornery about this, but it just seems like something that I don't like the idea of being in a position where we can't say we did it all, right? And we're looking at it right now, right? That doesn't seem like good stewardship as somebody who's crafting the policy here.
Mr. Soto?
Yeah, I mean, my personal opinion is that it's a good policy. We should have our annual audit. There has been some challenges over the years. Everybody's aware of those challenges, but there shouldn't be any reason why moving forward that the expectation is that the city's doing their audits on an annual basis, and it's unfortunate that we're in this situation, but my personal opinion is I don't think that it should prevent us from striving to be in compliance with having those annual audits done, despite some of it being out of our control on the school department.
Mayor Garcia.
Yeah, no, Soto is absolutely right. So the policy, and as we all are working together, is to set the expectation of the environment or the expectations we want as far as the audit's concerned. I mean, about 2 years ago, we passed our municipal finance policies manual that sets the expectation of how we want our resources managed. And there are areas of where we are improving and we're meeting the standards set in that policy. Doesn't mean that we're hitting all of them. And a lot of them has to do with a lot of the inadequate systematic challenges that have created this current position that the city's in, which has led to the Municipal Finance Modernization Acts that we're actively implementing as we speak, building the airplane as we fly it while also catching up. So the catch-up work, as you heard earlier, late last week, the 23 audit, what's done, that's going to get sent to the council. I'll be sure it gets sent to the school committee. 24 and 25 is actively being worked on by CLA, together with our external auditor and internal auditors. We got 3 auditing people looking at all of this, while we work with our friends at the DLS, who have been extremely helpful in helping me overcome some of the systemic barriers that existed that was keeping things bottlenecked politically. But I could tell you, we are on a fast track at the moment, and we hate to give dates because things come up and the goalpost gets moved even further, but I can confidently say that 24 and 25 will be done soon without giving dates. And so with all the systematic changes in the Modernization Act, with all the catch-up work being done, our policies manual expectations complete, our policies on the school side complete. Our goal is to hit that expectation of policy. So improving a policy, it won't hurt anything necessarily, but it's going to help communicate the standard and expectation as we continue to improve and develop that. We have a policy and this body is holding us accountable to meet that policy. So we need to keep working toward that goal. You know what I mean? So it doesn't hurt anybody, but instead it helps contribute our community standard as far as the school board's expectations are with audits, annual audits, and timely completions.
Thank you, Mayor.
No problem.
Ms. Lubo?
Can I ask a clarifying question of Mr. Michelson? So, I was trying to understand. Are you concerned about not so much the policy itself, but the compliance of the policy? Is that what?
Mr. Michelson?
That is correct.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yeah, I think that we as a committee should be setting expectations. And if the city isn't meeting those expectations, then we deal with that. And I think the mayor is, and I think the city has just been steamrolled by some people over the past couple of years, and they're trying to get things fixed and on the right track with some of that. But I also think that 9 months also aligns, and I'm assuming, and this is old, but I'm guessing that also was aligned because I think our federal audits are due 9 months after closing. Is that accurate? Yeah, so the federal government requires, at least for our federal grants and stuff, so that 9 months is and I know this doesn't apply to that, but as a universal type of due date type of thing after the closing of the year. So I'm assuming that was part of where the 9 months came from when this was developed. And really, you should be expecting, we will soon get there as a city, and you'd be expecting your audit probably by November? Is that in theory? No, but in general, if we were all up to date, we'd be looking for our audit to be done November.
If all was in perfect, it'd be around November timeframe.
Yeah, it would be before the tax rate set and all that. That's, right. But they're getting there.
And just to let you know, audits that have been complete before 23, they were never. The cities have had a long time issue with completing the audits timely. So that's number one. Number two, there's been 20 years of material deficiencies that, I've been surprised that the state would even allow for these audits to close to begin with. So, there's a lot of things at play at the moment, and we're trying to be better in holding ourselves accountable to being serious in addressing those deficiencies and catching up, rather than let's just get this done quickly because we really need to get our certification of free cash, or we got to set the task rate, so let's get this done. And so you know, there's been a lot of political pressure from both state and local to quickly get audits done in small, which then would kick the can down the road. And so we're untangling years of all of that. While we untangle that, I feel confident that with the new systems that we're adopting, as far as, you know, the CAFO, the consolidation of the treasurer collector, bringing on board a comptroller, expanding the role of the auditor, and other of those systematic changes, moving things around internally, like where certain things were being housed. We are confident that we'll be able to better adequately manage the complexity behind what it takes to get these audits done under the purview of the DOR, Department of Revenue, and DLS expectations. So it's not black and white. As long as I've been involved, municipal finance always surprises me. But I feel good about the direction we're heading. I don't know, Anthony, you want to share anything else? Because, you know, we do have a regular finance team that meets regularly to get the updates on these changes, get feedback. Soto has been contributing to that conversation, which I've been very appreciative. And so soon we'll be in a better footing is the goal.
Thank you, Mayor Garcia. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Mayor Garcia?
Yes.
Dr. Eric Colon?
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Dave?
Yeah.
Ms. Nancy Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Izaza?
Yes.
Mr. Michelson?
Yes.
Bo?
Yes. Yes.
We didn't have any announcements. So motion to enter executive session, not open to the public because an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body for the purpose of collective bargaining of all units under negotiations.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Michelson, seconded by Ms. Nancy Williams. Roll call vote.
Mayor Garcia?
Yes.
Dr. Eric Colon?
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
Ms. LaFave?
Yes.
Ms. Nancy Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Izaza? Yes. Michelson?
Yes.
Mr. Bo?
Yes.
Ms. Molina?
Yes.